What's going on, y'all? Catfish. I was gonna be tired of seeing my face, but anyway, I'm getting these videos out. What it is will be up tomorrow morning. I already recorded it. I just put it private. Catfish, Catfish, Catfish. Season 5, episode 7. Ray and Lexi. All right, let's see how fast we can get through this because it really wasn't much. Okay. But I can't wait to see next week. Next week got some dyke drama going on, okay? And if you're offended by the word dyke, I'm sorry. I say that because, it is what it is. But they gonna be fighting or slapping each other or some shit like that, and I'm all here for that. I'm telling you, some of the best drama be between lesbians. You ain't gotta say that. Just sit there and watch it all go down. You be like, mm-hmm. Mm-mm. Girl, no. Mm-mm. But anyway, let's get into this video. Ray is a 19-year-old student. I don't know if he's in school still or whatever. He got a job and all this stuff, and apparently it's a good one that caused him to, move from state to state. And I was like, oh, okay, what type of work you do? I hope you in school too with this, but that's good, Well, I hope it's good. Okay. Hope it ain't nothing illegal, but we ain't gonna put that out there like that. So Ray, he from Las Vegas, Nevada, and he's 19 years old, and he contacted Max and Eve because he's talking about his puppy love that turned into real love. He's been talking to this girl named Lexi for the past 4 years, ever since they was 15. They met on his dating app and all this stuff, and she lives in Phoenix, Arizona, and they're not too far from each other, like a 4-hour drive and all this, and yada yada yada. And he understands the fact that they were young, and that's why, they couldn't really meet each other at that time. But then they turned 18, they turned 19. How come I can't meet you and all this stuff? You know, it seemed like they talked. He put up the app because he was bored. And we're gonna fast forward, and this is when they meet Max and Eve, okay? And he tell them, so me and my friends, we was just kicking in. I was bored, so I got this app, and I just check it periodically. Every time I hear that word, periodically or something, whatever that lady said, it was so fucking funny. He just checking, and one day, he got this message from this girl named Lexi, okay? And ever since then, they've been talking every day. And, oh, I like your profile. Oh, I like yours too. You got a nice smile. You got a nice smile too. Like, what's your zodiac sign? I'm a Capricorn. Oh, you're a Capricorn. I'm a Capricorn too. Oh, that's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. They was doing all that stuff. And then he was like, it be times where it was so good. And when we finally get to like our late teenage years, stuff start, like out of high school or whatever, stuff start getting crazy. I asked her to FaceTime or, Skype or do all this stuff and video chat. And that'll be the time she get mad at me and I don't hear nothing from her for like a couple of days, couple of weeks, some months or whatever. And I'm like, what is going on? This is a person that I've fallen in love with. We've been talking for 4 years and I need to meet this person. I need to see this person. And so, Max and Eve was ready to go down there and see him. And they video chatting with him, telling him listen to his story and all this stuff. Kind of find out, um, he done moved to Chicago. I was like, what? And then, he was like, he moved to Chicago for a job or something. I said, okay. You got to do what you got to do. But you're 19 years old, so what job is that? I just wanted to know. I'm being nosy. I want to know what job. Y'all was thinking the same thing, too. Like, what fucking job you got? So they talking. Did y'all see the red Mercedes in the driveway each time that they came to his house? Was that production's car or what? But, anyway, he telling the story, and he was like, so this one time, when I'm talking to her, all of a sudden, she got these sisters. Her sisters' name are Alexia, and Lexa. And I said, bitch, get out of here. Get the fuck out of here. I said, no, nigga, you should have stopped right then and there once you heard the sister's name and said, bitch, I ain't got time. That's all you had to say. I caught on to your game, and you're not going to do this to me. All right? I don't care if you was young. Come on now. And like they use that example of George Foreman, he called all his sons George. All his sons' names are George. That was a special case, okay? But come on, you just gave different variations of a particular name, okay? You done gave nicknames, the real name, and another nickname, all right? And I don't have time for this. I really don't. At this moment in time, I was like, you should have known. He said at one point, the older sister, Alexia, gonna make a kite page a fake profile trying to talk to him to catch him up to see if he cheating, and then Lexi gonna send the screenshots of the stuff and all this stuff, and then they get into it, and then she so happens to find out that it was her sister who did the thing, and they getting into it, and they like, I'm not talking to her because she was doing this, trying to, being all up in our business and stuff like that. And I was just like, girl, right, I can see if you hit it, but come on now. Come on now. I just want understanding. And you're not a bad looking guy. And truth be told, the actual person who it was, she's not a bad looking girl. But I get on that. Um, so just so happened when Ray moves to Chicago, he finds out that Lexi has moved to Iowa. So you just keep moving closer and closer and closer to him. And that just goes to show that this is some fuck shit, okay? She talked about something she wanted to end it, but bitch, you keep playing games like you playing chess or not chess, you playing checkers and stuff, trying to jump him and all that shit. It's just confusing what you was doing. All right, I wasn't understanding it. So after that, they go over trying to Google image search the picture. Now the girl is like this Latina Mexican girl or whatever, skinny, cute little face or whatever, and he thinking that it's her. It's not her. They do a Google search. They can't find the pictures and who they belong to, but they know it's not the person who was on the phone or who he's been talking to. And then they find a profile. They couldn't really find her profile, so they found a profile of Alexia, the older sister. And it's on Facebook because the Lexi girl, her name, it was just like a whole bunch of people who had the same name and different profiles was popping up, but it was not the one that they was looking for. So they used the older sister. Now the older sister, she got this picture from 4 years ago, her holding this sign saying "I love Jesse" or whatever. So they was like, and he was tagged in it. So they tagged and clicked on the tag, sent him a message. He called, said call him back in whenever you ready or whatever. So he was like, yeah, I know the girl, not in person. And I said right in there, this is the girl. The girl was playing him, playing Ray. Okay. He said they talked a while through the internet and stuff like that, and then there'd be moments where he wouldn't hear from her for a couple of days, probably a couple of weeks, a couple of months. The same MO as Ray, Ray's girl. And so they take this information back to Ray, and basically they like, this most likely is the girl, okay, or this is her sister. This is what's going on. Stuff is just sounding way too familiar. They try to call Lexi, and I was like, is this Lexi? She was like, yeah, this me. What's up? I was like, I'm Nee from Catfish, and I was just talking to you about Ray and all this stuff. I mean, it's all good, but you dating him and he wants to meet you. I really don't think it's time for me to meet him because there's a lot of stuff going on, and I just can't right now. Click. I was like, oh, okay. And so they tell Mr. Ray what's going on, and he's still up in his feels. He's not trying to be in his feelings too much, but you could tell he's getting agitated. And so they was gonna go over there and meet her, and because she said that she was posing, um, they called back. Ray was in the car, and Ray was on the phone, and her voice literally changed. It was high. It was like, "Oh my god, yeah, this is me, Lexi. I mean, I really don't know, Ray. It's like I have a lot of stuff, and I just okay. Just come over to the house. Just come over to the house." And Neve and Max clocked that shit right away. That's a different voice, bitch. Okay, something ain't right. That is a different voice. So they go to the house. This girl opens up the door, and mind you, they in Iowa now. They in Iowa. This girl opens up the door. It's a black chick, and I said, there's Afro Mexicans and Afro, Hispanics and stuff like that. So, I didn't pay it no mind. I just, was like, all right. And she was like, they was like, you're not Lexi, are you? No, I'm not Lexi. My name is Lexa, and I'm her sister. She just left. She was scared to, stay. When they said sister, she was like, not by blood, but that's my sister. My name is Lexa. And right when she said not by blood, I was like, girl, you stretching this. I understand that could be possible, but that was just a convenient excuse right then and there. I just said, oh, just tell the truth. Just tell the truth. And at this moment in time, I figured out all what it was right then and there. Okay. So they left, and Once again, they tried to get in contact with her, and Ray talking to her like, I was here. Why weren't you here? Like, oh my God, my sister was blowing up my phone and telling me that you were here. It's just that I don't know if I can meet you. I got a lot of stuff going on in my life, and click. She literally hung up the phone in mid conversation. I said, rude. She's just so rude. What is exit her out the picture? And so they got this message. I think they got in contact with her. Of course, Neve did what he did and cussed her out a little bit to make her say, come on over and let's talk, whatever, because dude deserved this since he's already out here. They go over there to actually see her. And once again, Lexa comes to the door. Hey, was like, is Lexa here? Lexi not here, is she? She was like, no. Are you Lexi? She was like, okay, yeah. And it was like, what? And he was like, what is your name? Marlena or some shit like that. And I said, girl, get the fuck out of here. Ray was over it. He was like, so you was playing and making up all these fake profiles for all these years. You was doing all this stuff. I mean, yeah, I got bored. I was a child. I did this. I did that. Ray left. Ray was in that car like, bitch, I ain't got time. When they did meet up again, no, they went in the house and they met up and they was talking, and she gives her little spiel about the reason why she made the profile was because, she was 14 years old. She was being bullied. She was going through a period of time in her life where she was not happy with herself. She did not even like the race that she was. She didn't like the fact that she was darker skinned, and she felt like she was getting bullied for that, and so therefore she made the profile with the Mexican girl because she thought that's what was pretty, and with using that profile she can be whoever she wanted to be, but she can also be herself and get be a real person with somebody else, and she wouldn't have to. It was an escapism, okay, an escapism. And so she hooked up with Ray, and then gonna say it wasn't even supposed to go this far. She tried to end it, and she was like, once I started becoming a real teenager, like around 16, 17 years old, I realized I didn't even have the same feelings that I had for him anymore. I said, damn, so you don't love him like that? No. Mind you, Ray is over here and head over heels in love. I said, you, who? And she started getting a little attitude in her throat. And Neve was like, you need to calm down. Neve or Max was like, you need to calm down because you need to realize that it's you that did this, okay? You hurt him. So you can cut that attitude out. I wasn't trying to have an attitude. It's just that, no, that's what you was having because you was getting frustrated because you got caught. And they was calling you out on your bullshit. And here's my thing. I hate that this is still an issue. And I know that it's a lot of people who go through this, not even just African Americans, not dark skinned, but people of all cultures and all races. They go through this. Some people go through not feeling good about themselves, feeling that they're not good enough, feeling that the body that they're in is not good enough, feeling that the color and the tone of their skin is not good enough, or the race that they are is not good enough. And they feel down about themselves, that they have to put themselves through all these changes and jumps and hoops just to feel accepted by society, or they take it a little further and do some damage to themselves, or, eliminate themselves from life because they can't handle it. It's a shame that we still have to go through this where not students, but kids and people in general are still getting teased and looked down upon because of the color of their skin, and, and even within the own African American community, or, African community, that you looking down upon a person who's darker skinned and uplifting someone who's lighter skinned, or vice versa. And it's a shame that we still have to go through that, um but that is no excuse, and I understand the reason of, just trying to escape from all the bullshit and find something happy, find something that just, I block all that stuff out. But getting online and pretending that you're somebody else that you're not, that's not it. That's not it, because you're causing more harm to yourself, and you causing harm to others, okay? You need to talk to somebody, all right? You need to get your feelings out there in your own body. You need to get it out there and tell them from your own mouth, looking at somebody and telling them how you feel, okay? You can't get on here playing with other people's emotions just because you are fucked up, and I'm not saying that in a bad way, but you can't do that. You can't do that. Hurt people, and I'm so glad he said that about how Yeah, people go through stuff, and it's just a shame that hurt people go on to hurt other people sometimes. And that's exactly what this was a pure example of. And we need to stop doing that. We need to learn how to vocalize. And even if you feel like there is nobody that I can talk to, there's always somebody that you can talk to. If it's not a family member, if it's not a friend, if you don't have friends or whatever, if you're not close to your family, you can find somebody. You can find a website. You can find a hotline, or you can find groups or whatever where you can go to and you can talk to somebody. All you have to do is look. All you have to do is look. You can't just sit down and just be waddling in grief about, oh, I'm not pretty, and oh, I'm not this, and all I'm not that. And I know it's easier said than done. It's easier said than done. Okay, but you have to, if you want to change, be the fucking change. Okay, don't be out here hurting other people just because you hurt. That's a sad ass thing. Okay, what benefit does you get out of it? Because when you go to sleep at night and after you get off the line or whatever, you still gonna be that same person that's hurting. That little person inside of you is still hurting. You ain't stopped nothing. All right, that was fucked up. And Ray said he ain't heard shit from her. They ain't talked and all that shit. I was like, well, it is what it is. So I hope she learned the fucking lesson. Love yourself first, okay? Learn to love yourself. Shit, build your confidence up. Um. Anyway, I got deep at the end. Anyway, I will see you guys later. Oh my God, shout out to DJ's World 101. I'm praying for you, boo. I know exactly how it feels to deal with somebody who that you care about and you love a whole lot, who all of a sudden get diagnosed with cancer. It feels like the end of the world. It's not the end of the world, not yet, okay? So all I'm gonna say is I'm gonna lift you and your family up in prayer, and just stick by your auntie's side, okay? Just stick by her side, and if anything she need, make sure you there to help her out, okay? Lift her up and keep her spirits up, all right? I'll see y'all later. Peace.